Well, welcome everyone. So there's a lot of faces here that I'm looking at that don't know me. So I'd like to take a minute and introduce myself and a little bit about me. My name is Nancy Iovino. I work at the Montclair Art Museum. I've been there for about 17 years. I teach everything there from little kids to adults. And what a lot of you know me is I've been running the Art in the Afternoon program since it started, which runs on every other Wednesday in the month, two Wednesdays a month. And those of you who do know me know that that is my absolute favorite thing to do. And and then working with the mill is definitely, I'm honored to be here. So as far as Zentangle is concerned, I've been a doodler my whole life. I've been the kind of person who, in order for me to focus on speakers, on people talking, in class as a kid, in meetings now, I have to doodle in order for me to concentrate on what they're saying. So I would say that I'm more of an audible learner. Until a couple of years ago, actually, in the Art in the Afternoon program, somebody mentioned the term Zentangle to me, and I was like, oh, I've been doing this forever. And I looked it up a little bit, and I realized that this is a program that a monk and a calligrapher developed. I believe that they became a couple. What the calligrapher was somebody who usually is very, very technical in terms of making sure everything was perfect. However, when there were times when she was just like filling in background filigree of like her, those illuminary like letter type of things, she kind of felt that she escaped a little bit, and was speaking about what happens to her when she's just in the process of just doodling without any kind of mind focus on what's around her. And the monk was saying that it was more like a meditative process. So they developed this in like 1995, but these patterns and repetitive doodles kind of go back forever in terms of mandalas and Mendi designs and things like that. So there's definitely history in patterning, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I just also wanted to share a little bit of my work, because as far as what Zentangle has done for me is, I was always, especially working in a museum amongst artists, I kind of just focused a lot on my projects and what I was teaching. I didn't really create for myself until I found this process. And what I do is something called Zentangle inspired art. I usually, I'm an animal artist. I Zentangle inside of animals. And again, those of you who know me, I'm sorry, you guys know this stuff already. But I see that there's a lot of people who don't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to my share screen content. And I just wanted you guys to see just some of my own work, if that's, so you can know what I do a little bit better. No, that's not it. Here it is. I'll do. Okay. I just have 4. So this is like, obviously a turkey. I treated the background first, and I did some patterns inside of the turkey. Iguana, a sea turtle, and a dinosaur. Again, usually I do focus a lot on animals. So, but again, you know, if you got my email yesterday, you know, I want you guys to feel comfortable Zentangling inside of anything that's personal to you, but we'll kind of focus on that in other classes. So the first thing, I just want to make sure that everybody has like some type of pen and a piece of paper. I did ask about micron pens. If you guys, I'm gonna now switch to, okay. Micron pens, at least a couple of different nibs. This is the 005 is the thinnest line that you would have. The one in the middle is a 03, is a little bit thicker. And a 08 is a little bit thicker than that. Basically, when you're doing your different patterning, something I always like to mention is that you always want to try to balance a good balance of like blacks, whites, and grays. And so I'm going to switch to, you know, I sent these inspirational doodles. Again, these are by no means the rules, because you'll be hearing me say, I don't follow rules, and there is no rules in Zentangle, because it really is just supposed to be something that you don't think too much about. But I would say that something like this would be considered more of a white pattern, whereas something like this would be considered more of a gray pattern. And then let's see what I can find would be considered more of a, you know, maybe a black patterning would be something like this, obviously with more black tones in it. So you kind of want to balance next to each other, because otherwise it gets a little muddy. But this, so again, so I don't know if you guys printed out these sheets, but this is really just for inspiration for if you get stuck. I'm going to talk about getting inspired about things around your house a little while. And so, but I want to do this first exercise with you guys on a piece of paper. I hope everybody, I don't know, is anybody chatting with me now? So just to do a quick, easy exercise. And again, I can't stress enough about how there is no right and no wrong in this process. It's really about letting go and not thinking about what's around you, and just kind of focusing. It's just you and your paper, and kind of just getting away a little bit. And again, there's no rules. So I'm going to start, not that that's a rule, but I'm just starting with a middle pen of 3. And I'm just going to put 4 dots on a piece of paper. I'm trying to fill in the space of my camera. So you can go larger, you can go smaller. This is about, you know, the size of my hand. I think those of you who got my email, because a couple of them came back, you know, I wrote that normally it's on a 3 by 3 inch tile. That's like a pocket meditation that people can kind of, you know, if they're feeling any kind of stress, they can kind of just pull it out of their pocket and doodle a little bit. But we don't have to focus on any kind of rules in terms of space. So I have 4 little dots here. And now I just want to haphazardly, like, no, I don't have to worry about a ruler or anything like that. I'm just going to connect my lines, and I'm purposely not worrying about them being straight. Right. So I have this square, and now what I want to do is just kind of, as if I'm dropping a line of string, I want to just do like a loop-de-loop kind of space inside here. I'm going outside my my square a little bit just for some interest. And it's really just a scribble all the way through. What this is doing is creating different sections for our different Zentangle patterns. I'm hoping that you guys have some of these printed out already in front of you. Some of these I did, I sent them. But I can't say that to be honest, that I use them personally, because I have, you know, kind of go-to doodles in my head. But, you know, but again, this is just inspiration. And I want you to treat the background and the whole thing as one, and you're going to basically just start to do different patterns inside. You can, you know, it's weird that I always kind of have like this go-to beginning doodle, and this is just me personally, where I kind of start with a corner flower. You know, this typical, and again, this is really just me. I'm not saying that that's the way you need to do this, but for me, it's just a starting off point. And there's so many different ways that I can make just a basic daisy flower that we've been drawing, you know, since we were kids. And it, you know, as intricate as possible, because, you know, between different dots, and there's a process that's called aura-ing, that if you just mirror your line, and I want to encourage that we're not sketchy. I know it's kind of a habit to kind of draw, to stop and start, but part of this process is the flow, and to be nice and smooth. And you can't make mistakes. And let's see, I'm not starting with pencil, I'm going right in with pen. And if there's something that you did to mess up, you can definitely turn it into something else, because again, no rules. So I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. I can, if there's anybody who has any questions for me, you can chat me. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna take a little time to just doodle for about maybe 15 minutes, and then I can answer any questions if anybody has, because again, today this is really just a beginning exercise, and my goal is to, you know, for you guys to have something a little bit more concrete in the weeks ahead. So again, just if you, I don't see any kind of chat buttons, so all right. I just also want to, during this process, is to remind people to, you know, every once in a while to take some nice deep breaths. I'm gonna take a minute and switch my pens. So this way you guys can, if you have multiple pen nibs, you can practice a little bit. If you don't have patterns with you, and we were just chatting a little bit about that, I mean, these are really the same strokes as writing. You know, what I'm doing right now, can you see? Okay. You know, is the letter N, lowercase n, and then I'm aura-ing. These are the same strokes as writing. And writing letters. So I'm going to take this time and ask if anybody, wants to chat me any questions before I talk about some other steps. I know that sometimes, you know, after holding a pen for so long, and especially if, um, you know, your hands can cramp a little bit. And so sometimes it's nice to take a break, um, and uh, and to, do you want to put me back on the, yeah, thanks. To take a break and shade and take, because there's a, if you take a soft pencil, and that was part of the supplies, but this could be done with a, you know, I have a, you know, an ebony pencil. It's a dark soft pencil, but you could do this with a basic yellow #2 pencil. But this is a little bit softer on your hands, and it kind of gives your hands a break. But if you want to take a minute and in shade in different areas, kind of gives a little bit of depth. And you can see that I'm just old school, and just with my fingers, I'm just blending it. You can see that that looks a little bit more interesting and has a little bit of depth. You know, maybe along here. Along my flower in the center. Basically along different, you know, edge lines. And I'm blending. I mean, those of you who have different art supplies and you want like a blending stick, and if you have a blending stick, of course, you know, yeah, or Q-tip would work well too. But I'm definitely get my hands in there kind of girl. And this definitely, this just gives your hands a little bit of a break after holding a pen. And it also gives an interesting dimension and shading. I don't know if you guys can see a bit of a difference there. So, are there any questions? So again, I'm making, so I know that there was, and I said before that if you don't have these sheets yet, you know, maybe I can also put some of these closer to my page. But when you get right down to it, these are very just basic strokes and repetitive patterns. This one. Here's my my basic daisy that I was talking about before. Here in repetitive patterns. Here's this again. I've always been drawn to patterns, even you know, when I look at other people's clothing and things like that, I always see the patterning in them. So, no questions for me yet? Chats? No? Okay. You know, and then talking about these patterns a little bit, I also wanted you guys to, optional, to think about looking around your house now that we're in our houses a lot, is something else this is kind of new to me, but I started looking around my house for different patterns in my house, and I started to make my own sheet. I put, this is very big, so maybe let me pan up a little bit. Can I do this? I made my own sheet. I traced something, and I made my own sheet of patterns, basically just looking around my house. Something like this is the pattern inside my chandelier, and this is my kitchen tile, and this is a vase that I have. Over here, my fireplace bricks. I have a lamp that has a pattern on it. I have like a wrought iron patterning on my fireplace. This you guys should recognize as a picture frame. So let's see, what else do I have? I'm sorry, this is bouncy. This I was inspired by like a Greek key pattern that I have in my fabric. This, believe it or not, was my doorbell chimes. This is also fabric on my couch patterns. So I'd love for you guys to, you know, in future classes to get inspired, maybe even instead of, you know, of course you can print out your, you know, we're sending you some of these patterns, or you can go and look them up yourself. But it might be fun to look around your house and get inspired by different patterns that are around you. You know, right now I could look at my radiator grid has a pattern. Even, you know, when the circles, if you have like all your glasses lined up in the cabinets, the tops of the circles. Your drapes, the swoops of your drapes, all of those are just creating natural patterns that are all around you. And again, nothing has to be perfect, and there's no right or wrong. They could just kind of inspire you for different things. So that's something that if you want to create your own doodle page, might be fun to do. That's a little different, especially those of you who've taken the class before. We've never done that, but I think that could be a fun exercise. So, just checking. So. Okay. Okay, so I don't know, Katie asked a question, and it's no problem that you're not a student. I love that. How do you decide of what to use to fill bigger spaces instead of smaller and defined spaces? Also, how do you make doodles look so 3D like some of the ones above? Okay, so first, Lorraine, we'll get you some patterns. And all right, and so the 3D, I can answer that quickly in terms of the 3D helps with the shading with the pencil that I was just saying. And, you know, you use, as far as filling bigger spaces, it's kind of like just keep going. You can fill bigger, you can not be afraid of leaving some spaces white. And you can use thicker pens, like even just in my class, when I teach this class, sometimes if somebody needs like a nice black space, I'll give you like a regular Sharpie to kind of, might be easier to fill in a black space. If you bought the Micron kit, some of them have this, let me close this, brush component, which can get a nice black area, nice bigger area. And that's also really nice on your hands too. This I could have a little bit of fun with. But I have no problem like leaving some spaces white. It'll just kind of and black will kind of give you a nice separation. And then it's a little less busy. I can show you that I did something not too long ago that is on my other side here. Where is it? But I guess I got so detailed in that it's almost so busy that you can't really even see what it is. So I try to block out areas of white and black to separate. It's supposed to be a fox. I don't know if you guys can see that. That, you know, and I tried to block out different areas just to get, because I got very, very busy. So having different areas, you know, definite areas of black and white, especially when working with something bigger, is helpful. And again, if I want to point out like areas that have like more of a 3D kind of look to it, is because of the shading, like in here. So, and that's done with the pencil. So. Oh, good. I'm glad that I answered your question, Katie. So yeah, definitely the grays and the pencils would helps get things, you know, brought out. Just with shading, with any kind of pencil drawing, kind of gives everything like a, you know, if you're doing a portrait and you're shading, you know, bringing your grays in different components kind of makes things a little bit rounder. So some of the pages that I sent were things like Lorraine was just saying, I sent a globe and probably a pea stub and then a butterfly. Those are really just inspiration. Let me just see what. Yeah, and the shell, that's right. Again, so those were just things I thought, you know, you could look at that and say, oh, that could be fun. But I do recommend maybe picking something that's meaningful to you. It does not have to be an animal. It could be a symbol. It could be a word. It could be a name. It doesn't have to be anything, you know. I really just want it to be personal, even if you're thinking of it to be a gift. So, and to me, if it's personal, if it's something that you care about, then it kind of helps you with focusing on it. Especially, I know that I always say that, you know, if it has a face, if you focus on the eyes, then you can kind of relate to it more. That's why a lot of times when I do these animals, sometimes the eyes are pretty piercing, because I work on that first, and that's my connection to the animal. But in the future, in the other classes, I would love for you to kind of think about something, and all you need to do is print it on regular copy paper. And we're going to talk a little bit about transferring it onto your Bristol paper and giving it different sections. I do find, for, more beginners, some of the open coloring pages or stained glass patterns kind of give you different sections to Zentangle inside of. There's nothing wrong with that. I know that some of you have done your pets, and some of you have done, relatives. We've covered all kinds of different things to Zen. So you can kind of take anything that you want to, that you want to recreate and Zentangle inside of. I think you change it enough that you don't have to worry about, kind of stealing other people's artwork. I mean, as far as coloring pages, you want to make sure that they're free coloring pages. But for the following weeks, if you can just print out something that's personal to you. And I guess in this environment, I printed the earth pattern, because I thought that might be something that I can concentrate on. Or if you want to stay in more abstract, that's fine too. Like I showed you before in my work, that sometimes getting some, different colors on the page and then Zentangling over them is quite a beautiful process. And you could stay abstract, so you don't have to. So again, I'm going to say this a whole bunch of times, but there's really very few rules. Or actually, there's no rules. So it really is my biggest rule would be is to not think so much, because, we're so caught up in what's right and what's wrong, that in this process, I just want there to be no right and no wrong, and really just kind of letting go. So let me put my patterns back up on the page. Katie, are you doodling? Let's see. Is she still here?
Yes, I'm doodling.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm also emailing out. I realized I emailed out the most recent email you sent that only had one of the sheets. So thank you for the student who, I don't know if she wants to be nameless or not, who pointed that out. So I'm going to forward that. That's the one that has like all of your doodles that you sent, because I think the most recent one that I sent out just had the first page of them, right, and there are many more. So I'm sending that out now as soon as I can copy everybody's email address over.
Okay. All right. I see the dove. Yeah, I just picked things only because of the environment that we're in today. I picked some things that might resonate, but again, that's just me. We're all different. So certainly don't have to follow what I gave. So
no, but there's a lot of them, and just speaking personally, I'm not trying to hijack the class, but
please, conversation.
I stayed on this long because this is really, it's been really fascinating to me, because I do this, like you said, I don't do it as well, but I find like I didn't know orang was a thing, but I've been doing that extra line, and so this was fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because there's again, like it's actually changed my artwork process. Again, I just went back to gallery view to see who's on here, and there's a whole bunch of you guys that know me and know my work. but a lot of you that don't. So, but it has changed my you know, process as an artist. It's given me a lot more confidence. You know, we all kind of have that, I always call it like stinking thinking, like the, you know, the, and especially for me, I'm in a artist environment. You just never change, you think bad thoughts, and that's we want to kind of change that and develop some confidence. So that's my goal. But I do welcome any kind of conversation, because usually when I teach, especially at Edgemont House, is, you know, I talk a little bit and then I go from person to person and talk to you guys individually. So so just talking the whole time is a little, takes some getting used to. So.
Yeah, and I think it's your call, you know, how we handle classes going forward. I think, you know, if we could start with everybody muted and people could unmute themselves and ask questions and discuss, and it would be more like your real life class. 28 people is a lot, but it's not, you know, unmanageable. So
Yeah, or if some of you guys, you know, might just want it to be a nice quiet class. I'm hoping everybody can hear the music and have this nice peaceful process also. So that's fine too, you know. So I'm going to continue with my little side doodle. And, you know, I'm not exactly sure of what I want to start to develop for next week, you know, but I am thinking of doing a person, so, which would be unusual for me.
Nancy, can I ask you a question? It's Diane.
Hi, Diane. Yes.
So I do have something that I would like to Zentangle. It's, so do you kind of do the outline of what it is that you want, or, well, actually I have it right here. I don't know if you can see it.
A bike? Yeah, I see it.
So,
okay, so now's a good time to answer that question. All right. So again, you know, when I always say that this has to do with lots of different skill bases. So I don't want anyone to be like, I can't draw a bike, so I can't do this. So are you familiar with like a transfer method, Diane? Or, so,
no.
okay. So there's two different things. So you can, little transfer copy paper, remember the typing days, where you used to type to make a copy? So there's something called graphite paper that you could buy, you know, I guess on Amazon or Staples or something like that, that has graphite on one side, and it's like a tracing paper, and you could trace right on that if you want to. So I'm going to do a little example. If you don't have graphite paper, another really simple thing to do is, I'm going to use the globe that I printed, is to take a pencil and color in the back, like of your, you know, of your bike. You're just going to color in the back of it, you know, and get it nice and dark with pencil.
Well, I was thinking of using, I can't use this one that I have that I made.
So the only thing, reason you, of course you can. The only thing is, I would think that, did you get like Bristol board? Did you get any nicer cardstock paper?
Yeah.
Only if you want to transfer your bike onto your, and
nice.
because your bike is also a silhouette, it's black, you know, you want it to have sections. So you want to trace the whole, like the whole thing as a block, like, so I'm gonna do a little example of my, so my globe, you would tape it down, and I know I brought tape, but of course I dropped it. So, so I colored in a section, and then here I'm just transferring it of a little section. So when you're going to do your bike, you want to do the whole, not just a one line, you want to do the whole block of it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I transferred this onto here. Can you see that? Probably not. Doesn't look like you can. Oh, there it is. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Okay. So that's probably the easiest way without buying anything, and just, you know, and that's a good way, like you would tape it down, even if you're doing a person, you know, and you have a face down here, you know, every little section you're creating, you know, every section that you're tracing over, then you have a different section to Zentangle inside of, you know. So did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Nancy, one chat came in to ask if people could share what they created during the session. Would that be okay? Could I turn off the spotlight on your drawing pad and then spotlight people as they hold it up?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to turn this off. So anybody who would like to share what they created, hold it up and I will spotlight your video briefly. All right.
There's Candy. All right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. So
Nice.
Are you going to show how to do it from the beginning? I've never had any. This is Robin.
hi, Robin.
Are you going to show how to actually start a Zentangle, or is
Sorry, keep your pictures up.
Okay. So, so Robin, were you here from the beginning of the class, or did
Yeah.
you come? Okay. So one way to start is by exactly what we did is by, oh, look how great these look. Sorry.
what time did this class start? What?
It started at 9:30.
Okay. 9:30. Oh my goodness. I'm in Central Time.
Donna, can you hold yours up again?
That's beautiful. So that's 8:30 my
Hi.
time. Oh.
Oh, hi, Donna.
There.
Oh, look at
You cheated.
So Donna's a graduate. Look at,
Wow, nice.
these are great.
These are really great. Beth, I'm spotlighting you now.
I don't know if you can see mine.
Nice.
Sandy, I got yours.
Who's that? Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Oh.
Arlene, I got yours.
Oh, good, good. This is the first time I've ever done it.
Lillian,
Okay.
hold it up a little higher.
Nice.
Anybody else?
Marilyn. Oh,
Oh, look at you. These are great.
Beautiful.
Cheryl.
Nice.
Ooh, whose was that?
So, you wrote the word
Zentangle a cat? That's very realistic.
who's the, I didn't see the,
Oh,
That's a-
Beautiful.
oh, that's cool. No.
Pat.
Beautiful.
I think I got everybody. Anybody else who I didn't say?
I don't know how to get on the screen.
Sorry, who's saying that?
Owner's iPad here.
Oh, hello, owner's iPad. Hold on. You have to start your video. I'll ask you to start so you can share.
Oh, look at, that's cute as that.
All right. Patty, I'm putting yours up.
Here it is.
Go ahead and hold yours up.
All right.
Nice.
Nice. So Robin, the way we started was by kind of doing 4 points and making a box.
I'm so sorry. I forgot. I misjudged it because I'm in Texas right now.
All right, well, welcome in Texas.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I messed up.
That's absolutely fine. But what we did was we started by just, making a little box, and then almost as if you're dropping a line of string, you're creating like a loose scribble inside. And then from there, as you can see from everybody's, what they've been working with, then they have all these different sections that they can then doodle inside of, or, tangle as you would. I do know that, Zentangle, is a copyrighted word. And when this was created, like, they named all their patterns, and there's certified Zentangle teachers, and it might be taught differently elsewhere, but a little bit more formalized in terms of, now we're doing the, squiggle dot pattern. To me, that makes you think too much. Personally, I feel like, I don't want to think about recreating what some of these patterns. What I do, I use them as inspiration. So again, I don't want anyone to think that they have to follow these rules. So,
Do you do it first in pencil?
no, because I feel like, you can. You can certainly work with pencil first if you're comfortable with that, especially if you're doing something a little more challenging. But I go right in with pen, because if there's something that I don't love, I can try to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I black it out, and I just make that shape part of the work. So let me see if there's something here. Trying to put my iPhone back as the, yeah, maybe as the
Oh, those are beautiful. So what you do is you get a shape, either a circle, a square,
yeah.
to start.
Yeah, you can. What I first said was, we started with 4 points and then put together a square. It didn't have to be a perfect square. I don't want anybody to think that they need to use a ruler. Like, some of these clearly are like computer generated, and very, very, like, you can tell that these probably are not hand done, or maybe they are, and I'm guessing, but they seem a little bit more perfect. I don't want anybody to think that they have to be perfect.
Okay, they're
So,
beautiful. Yeah, I
yeah.
printed out what you sent, but I messed up with time as far as getting online. I didn't realize it. All right.
It's okay. But, I think for going forward, in the next 5 classes, I'm really going to encourage, unless people want to be a little bit more abstract, which is absolutely fine, to maybe think of something that they want to work on. And I'm pretty sure I have samples somewhere of different people's work, but I don't want to just share that without permission, that we've worked on in different classes. So I can do that in another time. So
Is there a particular reason why you say it has to be the Bristol paper as opposed to just say if you were using paper?
no, the only reason why I would say Bristol paper is because I feel that part of the process is that, like, smooth glide of the pen. Regular paper could create a bleed with the marker, and this is also more, you know, it's more substantial in terms like a more of a cardstock instead of a.
Oh.
However, if I'm certainly not going to tell you to go out and get Bristol paper. If paper is what you have, you can absolutely create this effect with regular paper. So this does not have to, you know, you don't have to run out and buy supplies if
The
you.
regular drawing paper's fine.
Sure. You know, personally, I don't know if anybody else is like this. You ever just get like a really like, ooh, I like this pen. It glides so nicely. Like there's something, or is that just me as an artist?
I never got the supply list, so I've been looking through my emails. I don't know why,
Okay.
or maybe I didn't notice it from the beginning, and but I'll look into that.
Okay. So the supply list was these these micron pens, a few different nibs. You know, definitely an 8, a 5, and a 3. Also a pencil is good. Again, these are ideal supply lists, you know, but a Sharpie and a pencil and a regular piece of paper are fine too, or a pen. So the would and Bristol paper.
The
You know.
supply list is on the class description, so I didn't email it out. It's on when you log on to the registration system. It's there, so I'll send it out via separate email too.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
You know,
why I noticed that.
I also had like, I don't know if any of you have any experience with like gel pens.
Yeah.
Those are nice. I did, let me see if I can share photos. I thought I put, no, those didn't go through. Here's a good example. Can we see that, or is that very blurry? Let me see, Dawn. Did that go through?
Yeah.
No, that's my work, but did you guys just see a heart? No.
No, it started to load and then it didn't come through.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So something like this I created just by splattering, you know, I don't know if a lot of you might have some watercolor. I just splattered, you know, I created the paper first with different splatters. And so these are just different, like, you know, watermarks of color. And then I use those as my pattern to Zentangle into in each individual color and different shape of splattered water. So if that's something that you know, you wanted to, if you wanted to stay a little bit more abstract, I ended up turning it into a heart because it was close to Valentine's Day, but it was supposed to be an abstract piece. So.
Did you splatter the color first and then Zentangle?
I did. I splattered, I put paper color down and I sprayed it with water and I dabbed it up and I sprayed it with water again. And I just got like all different blotches, you know, of different colors. And like, you know, I like the way they run. I don't know. I can't point on this. Can I point on this? So if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you could see how like, that's where I sprayed it and the colors ran into each other. This was definitely what I would call a happy accident because it really turned out to be one of my more favorite pieces. But I just, you know, I like the fact that I I didn't close, you know, I left some of the spaces open as color, and then I Zentangled some of it. So again, so if working more abstractly, you know, I just wanted to give you some other ideas. If working more abstractly is something that you wanted to do, this was fun. This was a fun thing to do. I'm gonna stop that share. Is there any more questions for me?
Is there, since I have no idea how to start, because it's my fault, is there a way I could just call you later and you could just Zoom with me for about 5 minutes?
Sure.
That would
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah. I'll send you an invitation.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And you could make up whatever time you want tomorrow, the next day, over the weekend. I'm so sorry, but I have no clue how to start even.
Okay. So again, you know, we really just started with a square. So, and just a scribble in between.
Okay.
And you know, just a loop-de-loop kind of thing in between, and then just having different sections to create patterns in front of. And one of the things that, you know, you don't have to have one of these sheets, you know, because again, all these strokes are strokes that you use, and we all use on a day-to-day basis to write. These are just, you know, again, developed by a calligrapher, but if you look, we have patterns all in our lives, all around us. So you don't have to be any kind of like great, skilled, practiced artist. You just have to know how to write, is in my opinion. So, but again, I'm happy to talk to you.
I'm gonna try it now while we're still. So the time of the class is 9:30.
9:30. Yes. I think Katie signed out, right? So yeah. And huh?
How long does the class go till?
It's an hour and a half. So 9:30, 10:30 to 11.
Okay.
You know. So yeah. So wow, we have 15. That went quickly. You know, and again, this whole Zoom thing is, you know, new to all of us, and so we're all kind of learning this together. As far as teaching, as I said, you know, it's definitely new to me to teach this way. So if there's anything that you feel that I am not clear or feel like I need to improve, you know, I'm open to constructive criticism. So, you know, I hope that I've answered or I've helped people. So Sandy just asked if there's a homework assignment. Did I miss another chat? How long do the pens last? The pens last a long time. Oh, hi, Jeannie. So the pens last, these Micron pens, I rarely have to replace. And actually, like even the ones for the Edgemont house, I use class after class. And then I even use them at the museum, and I don't throw them away a lot. If they're closed well, they'll last a long time. And so Sandy, the only homework assignment, if you want to, is create your own patterns by looking around your house. So like I said, so I'm going to actually share this content. One second. I know I pointed it out to you on my sketch pad, but I kind of put them side by side. Bear with me one second. Okay. So like, here's my kitchen tile, you know, and you can see we're up close, like they're really crude, you know, very, very basic doodles. But again, I just thought it might be fun to create your own doodle page inspiration. This is my piece, wrought iron piece that I have on my fireplace. This is part of my antique chandelier, this patterning, the gold. This is a vase I have, basic picture frame. This is a couch pattern. This is a pot, terracotta pot. I think, yeah, that's everything. You know, I also had, you know, the patterning in my bricks. I have, you know, and again, looking around the room that I'm in now, looking around, you know, I'm looking at, you know, the spokes on my stairs, the tablecloths, you know, there's patterns all around us. So if you wanted to do a homework assignment, you can look, you know, take a piece of paper and put a bunch of either circles or squares on it and look around and create your own doodle patterns. That could be fun. And it's definitely something that we haven't done. For those of you who've been in the class before, we've never done that. So that could be something new to do, is to create your own doodle page. So. And then I think I had like 5 emails bounce back to me. I sent an email to everybody, and it could just be me trying to retype it, but you know, I wanted everybody to have my email in case you have questions, or you know, if you wanted to share with me, you know, I'm struggling with this one area. Can you help me with that? You know, I'm happy to do that. You know, at this point, I'll be starting to work back at the museum about 10 hours a week. So I'm pretty, I have a lot of time on my hands.
I did mine with colored pencil too.
Oh, let me see.
See?
Who's speaking? Wait, I don't see it yet.
Do you see it now?
Oh, you are. Marilyn. Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
I did it with some colored pencil too.
Oh, that's, you know, thank you for bringing that up. That's a great idea. Regular colored pencil, watercolor pencil is also that I use often. Is that watercolor or regular color pencil?
It's watercolor pencil.
So, yeah, you know, I often use watercolor pencil, kind of color it in and
I might put water on it.
yeah. And,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could we see the ones that she did with the watercolor pencils or colored pencils, please?
So this is, if you want to go on gallery view, and Marilyn is holding it up.
Can you hold it a little closer, Marilyn?
Oh, that's better. Yeah. That looks great.
Nice. Thank you. Very nice.
Yeah, so those of you who have
Beautiful.
So we could get creative. I mean, I know, so it's funny. So I'm looking at, I'm sorry if I'm calling your name out. Yeah. So I'm looking at Jeannie. Jeannie like collaged a little bit once, which is a great idea. If you wanna put some collage color down and doodle around it is also a great idea. So it's kind of limitless in terms of what you want to do. Right. Does anybody want to share anything or have a different idea? So, hey, Donna, were your elephants? Was that collage? Unmute yourself. Can I unmute you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. So Donna, can you unmute yourself?
Do you have colored pencils?
Yeah, I did this with the upcycling, they've been calling it, collage, whatever, with magazines or whatever I have.
Oh, she did.
And then I watercolored the sky, and watercolored over the elephant. Yeah, I should have painted it before the elephant, but anyway, live and learn. I did this to keep busy, not to lose my mind.
So the combination of collage and the Zentangle looks beautiful. So that's another thing to be inspired by. Dorian, were you holding something up?
I tend to do the doodling first and then paint it in, and it usually starts abstract and turns into a creature like this.
Oh my God, I love that. That's like a dragon.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've done that too, where it's almost like a Rorschach test where you kind of, you know, do it like an ink blot kind of thing and doodle it into and come out with something that could be fun. So, you know, I just again wanted to say that this is kind of limitless in terms of, you know, your creativity, what you feel like creating. You know, we have an hour and a half together of just kind of playing a little bit and forgetting about stuff. So that's my goal. So.
Nancy, I can hold up the one of my collages if you want.
Okay, I would love that. So you guys can see Jeannie. So I don't know how to in person, but so Jeannie, that's a combination of collage and doodles, and looks like she framed it, which is great.
Can you say what part was collage?
Yeah, so it's origami paper.
Ah.
So the part that's colored is collage, and then the others are her.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can get as, you know, inspired, you know, by each other as you are by, you know, and me. Let me see if I have. Are there any other chat? No, nothing else to add?
Nancy, I have a question.
Okay.
I want to show you something. Hang on one sec.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, this is Patty.
Wait 1 second, Patty.
Okay, so I did this as a watercolor.
Yes.
You see, it's a woman's hands with playing cards.
Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking that I would redo this as my Zentangle piece to see how it looks. Do you think that might work? Like this is the gray part.
Right. I love this. So your question would be like, what part would you Zentangle and what part would you leave?
You know, it's like there's a lot of detail in the playing cards, right?
Right.
So I guess I could leave that out and I could just Zentangle that piece. But I kind of wanted just to see the same image in two different ways, you know?
Yes. I love it. That's a great idea.
All right, I'll try next week.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And then Patty, you had a question?
Well, I don't know if you can see, can you see me even?
I do see you.
Okay, I sketched this. I don't know if you can see. No, you're not going to be able to see this, huh? It's a couple of dogs. Wait a minute. I already sketched this in readiness for your class because I like to do animals entangled also. So I have these two dogs out in the backyard. And I was going to use that, you know, going forward in the class. And if for anybody who's new, like one of my favorite pieces was this cat in books.
Yeah.
In the library.
Oh.
But yeah, I
just want to say that you've lightened up a very gray day. It's been a lot of fun, really beautiful.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, I just wanted to share, you know, one of the things that I'm working on.
Thank you, Patty. Yeah, I'm looking forward
Nice.
to seeing what you do. And you know what? I would love to see, like, you know how the cat has such an intricate background. Create the background along with the dogs is something that you know, you might want to try. You know,
I say it again. What color?
Along with your dogs, create the background. You know.
Oh, yes. Right now, I just have the fence in the back because I'm going to put them out in the yard. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do instead of the fence, like maybe some dog houses or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I was going to consult with you separately.
You could do that. You know how to. That's great. Where's I don't want to. Oh, I just.
Wow.
Nancy, that's the first one that I did in your first class.
Yeah. How did you do that?
That was hand drawn.
I know that was yours.
Yeah, but you put it
That's
as a.
beautiful.
Yes,
I use that to experiment with all the different kinds of patterns. So each flower petal is a different pattern.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But no, so Candy, I'm wondering how you made it big like that.
I shared my screen.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I didn't it all do that.
Yeah, because I don't have it physically here anymore, so I just have a picture of it. So I just shared my screen.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it looks very nice. I knew right away that was yours. Very pretty.
Oh, that's great because I'm glad that you guys can all share your screen because then I can help if you don't, you know, because seeing Candies like that was really helpful for me to see it big like that. So
Yeah.
can help you know, give ideas if you need them, if you share
If you
your.
have a photo of it available on your computer, you just share your screen, pull it up and share your screen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Cool.
I think you can also just hold your picture in front of your screen and then share your screen as well.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
just put water on mine.
Center.
See, I
Oh,
put
wait.
water on it now. Look.
Where are you?
Oh, it disappeared
This
now.
is the thing. I have to like. There you are. Okay. Okay.
I put water on it.
As I see, you blended it.
Yeah. Blend it in.
So, you know, I know that a lot of people, you know, as I'm seeing some of your names, and I'm not going to call everybody out that you know, but for those of you who are new, I know that this process has changed a lot of people's way of doing art in this class already. I know that, you know, and that like fills my heart knowing that I've kind of brought art to some of you guys. So that's really important to me because I think we all need that. So there's some chats. Let me see. So yeah, thanks, Candy. That was great. So let me see, what time are we at? So I think the class is just about right. So it's 10:58. Isn't the class over, right? 9:30, 10:30, yeah. Any last minute questions or? So if you didn't receive my email, can you just write to me? And so this way I can, maybe I made a mistake. And mine is Nancy Iovino, I-O-V-I-N-O, like one word, Nancy with I-O-V at Gmail, if you want to write that down. And that's it. So, all right, I'm gonna close. So any other last minute thoughts before I say goodbye? So, all right, those of you who are doing the watercolor class, enjoy. And I'll see you next week, and have a safe, healthy week.